Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another weekly check-in. You're here with your boy Jords to talk about everything Spurs. Check in with what's going on in the week. What's the newest updates? As we can see, apparently Spurs have made a bid for a left back, trying to improve the team, trying to make the plans for the summer transfer window, and new manager. Will they be happening? Is there any news on anything coming out about that? We're going to cover all of that. But before we do any of that, make sure you like on the damn video. It's simple. It don't cost a thing. It don't take a second. Like the video. Show some love. Follow up on the socials. And if you ain't already, subscribe to the ting. But we started off with the... You know, one of them ones. Big up to the blue sassy bird, the super sticker. Yo, Jords. Yo to you as well, my bro. I hope you're doing well. Big appreciation with the super sticker. Yeah. Big up to you, my bro. We ain't even gotta go through how much it is because it don't matter. I'm not gonna see. I ain't gonna do what the other man were trying to do. Yeah, 46p over here is enough. Whether it's 49, 46, 42, whatever it is, your contribution is very much appreciated. So big up to you, blue sassy birds. But Spurs. Do you know what? It's actually been a quiet week over in our camp for one of the first times in a long while. I've been looking out at the news. I've been trying to see what's actually going on, but not really that much has happened. Obviously, off the back of the Fulham loss, many people thought that we might lose Ange Postecoglou. He might get sacked. Maybe something will happen, especially considering it's an international break. Probably one of the best times to make a change in a team because you could bring in a new manager. They can get time to work with a squad. They can embed their system in, and things can work out that way. But as we have seen, there is no news on Ange being sacked. The news that has come out is that he actually has the backing of the board, he has the backing of the squad, and he has the backing of, most importantly, Daniel Levy, who is not looking to move him on at any point in time of this season. Maybe that might change after we potentially get knocked out of Europe, if that is to play out that way. But up until that point, it's probably not going to happen. I think I've accepted that. I've accepted that we're going to see out the season with Ange. And, you know, I can't be too mad at it because it was just me 6 months ago. I ain't a hypocrite. Because I was the guy 6 months ago saying, just give him the season anyway. You might as well give him the season. Because, yes, at this point, there isn't much that can change, but I want to win a trophy. I'm starving for a trophy. Starving. We ain't been in a quarterfinal in Europa League in probably nearly 10 years. Obviously, we had a few years in the Champions League, so that's one of the main reasons. But regardless, we ain't been in a quarterfinal of the Europa League for a long time. So seeing this opportunity and what it represents for us as a club, you know, the chance to end the trophy drought, we should be jumping on that. Pause. Because no man should be jumping on anything. But you have to, yeah, at the opportunity. This pause stuff is killing me because I'll be sitting there in my mind. I'll pause in my head even when I'm thinking things. But we have to take advantage of the opportunity that's ahead of us and look to make a change. Look to make some serious impact. And whether that's sack Ange and bring someone else in, I'm for it personally. But you can also understand the club why they may not be for it. Looking at the options elsewhere of who we can bring, and I think one thing that's maintained consistency from my side anyway is Marco Silva or IRAOLA. Let me know in the chat who you guys would prefer of these two managers. Now, I'm just saying these two because my preference is Xavi Hernandez, but that's a whole other conversation. I think we need to focus on the realistic targets and who we've actually been linked with. News has come out. Spurs have spoken with Iraola's camp, and he's more than willing to make the jump from Bournemouth over to Spurs at the end of the season, regardless of where Bournemouth finish. And sort of the same thing for Marco Silva. I think with Marco Silva, he has a history of leaving clubs in a bad place. He done it to Everton. He done it to Watford. The team he left to go Watford for, He done exactly that. He put himself in a position where he was pretty much all damned to get sacked, and then Watford picked him up. And then for Watford, he left them in 18th to go to Everton, who then eventually sacked him. So Marco Silva doesn't necessarily have an amazing record in the Premier League, but the one thing that I'd give him credit for is he's character building. He's improved over time. He's one of these managers that they didn't start their Premier League career off so great, and then like he's had ups and downs. It's not just been all ups, and that's one thing that I like. I like someone that's gone through a bit of turbulence. They've had some of the problems. They know what it's like to deal with what's going on in the Premier League right now. They know what it's like to deal with adversity. You need someone that can face adversity, and Marco Silva's gone through that. So that's an advantage that I'd give to him. IRAOLA hasn't yet done that. IRAOLA's still very young in his managerial career. Probably hasn't had too much adversity. Obviously, I can't say that I tracked his career over in the La Liga or anything. I only know about him in Bournemouth. Looks good. System looks good. But even when you look at the way that they play, I know a lot of people big up, Areola ball, the pressure, the transition. Like, they're one of the best transition teams in the league. And I'll get onto this in a sec, Mustafa. Big up to you, though. Yo, Wagwan. But when you talk about Areola, I was literally looking at a tweet the other day where it showed the attacking patterns and the passing patterns from each team. And with that, all of their passing patterns are just down the left-hand side. As in, they just transition ball. It's long passes down the left-hand side where they're quickly catching teams on a counter, move it out to Semenyo, move it out to Cliver, and they burst. Or Tavernier, whoever it is, and they burst. They start flying. I don't know, especially with the players that we have, because that's one thing you need to take into consideration. Iraola's not coming to Spurs and getting 7 or 8 transfers. He might get 4 or 5. He's not getting 7 or 8. And those 4 or 5 are not going to be at the required quality, probably at the required quality. He needs to implement his whole strategy. So he's going to have to work with what he's got. I don't think we have the players to play and flourish so much in a transition. You need players that can finish off moves, guys that have got good decision making, and the final ball's got to be good. That's it. The final ball has got to be good. Now, we do kill teams in a transition, but when you look at the squad that we have and the players that we have, we don't necessarily have a lot of PMP. You need PMP for that. They have that in abundance at Bournemouth. So I feel like Areola ball looks good for the players that he's got. But if you put him, let's just say in this summer, a few teams pick out their players, because we all know that Bournemouth's team is really good right now. But when you have a really good mid-table team, their players start to leave because they know this isn't going to last so long. So Dean Hodgson's probably going to be on his way out. Semenyo or Cliver, one of them will be on their way out. I would even throw in. Now, I think Tavernier will stay, but Semenyo or Cliver, one of them will 100% be on the move. Evan Nilsson will stay. They've obviously got Watara and all these players. So they've got a few players who they've got as backups and players that can fill in the roles for when somebody's leave. Because like we've seen, when he had injuries, the ball and the system didn't slow down much. But it's not at the same required level. When you look at the win percentages of Bournemouth this season, it's not like it's been astounding or it's been amazing. When we signed Pochettino after he had his season at Southampton, he had a really, really impressive season where he coached players to improve. They all got England call-ups. You had players like, who am I trying to think now? You had Tadic. You had Graziano Pella. You had, what's the Italian guy? They had another Italian guy on the wing, cold. He had players that he's making perform out of their skin. Proper coach. That's something we're going to get onto that news as well later, because I know what's been circling around Twitter. Don't worry, your boy Jords is tuned in. So yeah, I feel like with Iraola, he's the hot topic right now. You know, the shiny toy on the shelf. Everyone's fucking with him. Everyone's like, oh, bring him to the club and all of this. Like, I just need to see him face a bit more adversity. I'll be real. I need to see that happen a few more times. I need to see Bournemouth have a bit more injuries. I need to see him lose a few players. Maybe give him another season or 2 in the Premier League, and let's see who he really is and how his football really adapts. Because once teams, look, they've watched him for a full season now. Now they can start to learn and adapt his system and play to it. But I'm not trying to. I think Areola is a good manager, so I think Areola will get through this stage. I'm just not sure if it's his time to make that jump at Spurs. Because let's have it right. Ange Postecoglou's having a terrible season at Tottenham, but Bournemouth are only 10 points ahead of us. And I know 10 points is a lot, but I mean Bournemouth are 10th. They've not won a game in their last 4. And yes, they're only 5 points off 4th. But I'll be honest, I think Bournemouth finish lower than the teams above them. I think Fulham and Bournemouth will be around the same points. Aston Villa will be just ahead. Brighton and Aston Villa will be in that same category. And then Newcastle, City, and Chelsea will just be above. Whether that's 5 or 6 points clear, they'll definitely be clear of them. But Silva Loki, the guy that's been around teams like Watford, he's earned his stripes. That's it, Jay. Big up to you as well, my bro. You know it. He's earned his stripes. That's what I like. I like someone that's been around. Well, managers that have been around, because someone's gonna take it left. No, you shouldn't like someone that's been around. The experience does come with it. Does have its attributes. The good, it has its positives. The experience, yeah. But we need someone that's experienced to take a lead of this role, because ultimately, with the managerial job that we've got right now, it seems Ange Postecoglou's got all the experience elsewhere, but no Premier League experience, and it's showing. It's showing because throughout the year, the decisions he's making, the way that he's setting up the team, the way his lack of adaptability, he's just not ready to take on the jump at the Premier League. He's not ready for this level. But you don't understand what coach is thinking right now. Too much old guy on coaches. Yeah, there's a few, man. There's a few, but I don't think the age matters. I don't necessarily think the age matters with the coach, obviously, because you can be an older coach and still be innovative. The problem is we don't need a coach like Ange Postecoglou who doesn't innovate. He doesn't evaluate where the team is at and try to change his thing and make it better. He's just gonna same system for 20 years. That's what he's on. He's just doing the arrogant thing, hard-headed thing. But big up to big up Jords. Come on, my bro. Well, big up Jay, not Jords. Hey, he was good at Vallecano. He dominated City, Chelsea, and Spurs. When did he dominate Spurs, bro? When did he dominate Spurs? I don't remember ever playing Rayo Vallecano. What are we doing here? Rayo Vallecano versus Spurs, because I feel like there's a whole lot of cap going on right now. And if you're talking about a preseason game, it definitely don't count. It definitely don't count. But let's just check, because I generally don't think there's ever been a game between Rayo Vallecano and Spurs. There's never been a game. What are we doing here, bro? Maybe I'm reading your super chat wrong. Maybe you're talking about someone else. Oh, at the Vitality. Yes. They did dominate our teams. They did dominate and play some good football that day. But I feel like when you're at home and he came up against teams as in City and Tottenham who are going through a bad run of form at the time, it's easy to take advantage. Just like you saw on the weekend, Fulham dominated us. Last season, you couldn't look at any team that would dominate us football-wise. We would always take over and control the game, but we wasn't killers. This season, we're getting dominated left, right, and center, and that's just, again, the lack of innovation within the tactics and lack of innovation with the squad. And Ange just not been able to make it work, to be honest. But my guy Milzino, come on. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm for me, I'll go back to this question at the top. Yeah, why do you prefer Xavi to hit Iraola? Iraola's a good manager, but when you talk about Xavi ball, yeah, Xavi is a manager that's proven. He's won stuff. He's competed. He's got respect. I want a manager that comes in and look, I'm not going to be the Twitter guy, but he's got to have some aura. I need to see some aura. You know, like Jinwoo and Solo Leveling. I know that, man. I've been trying to pop that one down for a while, but I've been tuning in. I need the aura. When you walk in the scene and you're just like, you just look and you know, rah. Yeah? My man's serious. Yeah? Xavi just steps onto that training pitch and people are already going to be like, yo, yeah? Hey, start doing a little jogging thing. Because they know, especially the midfielders, because that's where some of our biggest problems are, that midfield. You see a guy like Bissouma. He knows his place his place will get run. It will get taken. His place will get taken by Xavi himself. He do the player manager thing. You don't want to see Xavi at 50 years old come on the training pitch and embarrass you. And also, just having a manager that's played ball before, not in Australia, yeah, not in Australia, not played over there with the Kangaroos and the Barbies, you know, not none of that, yeah. Talking about a guy that was a Ballon d'Or candidate, he should have won a Ballon d'Or. To be fair, he was robbed by his boy in it, so it's one of those ones. You got to lift up your boy sometimes, but should have won a Ballon d'Or. One of the best midfielders ever. I want that guy to coach my team. And when we talk about tactics, because I know they're going to say, Jords, you're just glazing. Jords, you just want him because he's a big name. Yes, for one, I am glazing. Facts. I'll tell you if I'm glazing. I'm glazing Xavi, bro. We should all glaze Xavi. Pause. But one of the best midfielders ever. But more than anything, tactically, I think he's more adaptable to what we've got in our system right now. He plays more of a 4-2-3-1. High. Again, the press is high, but it's not super high. It's not Hansi Flick high, yeah? And it's not even Ange Postecoglou high. But you see Xavi adapt. Xavi knows how to get the best out of young players as well. We know throughout his time in Barcelona, he brought through Yamal. He brought through Gavi. He brought through Pedri. You know, Kubasi. He brought all these young players, the core of their squad right now. Xavi built that. Xavi put that in place. Tottenham have so many young players right now that we need someone who's going to have the right influence on them and their career and getting them focused as to what we need to see from them. So I feel like Xavi would be perfect. I generally think Xavi would be perfect for us. And you know what, with that, maybe, you know, to improve the attack, you could start to attract better players. With Xavi comes better. When Xavi makes that call, you know, he goes, hey, yeah, Xavi Hernandez. Yeah. Say less. I'm rolling. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's another one I forgot to mention. Mustafa. Kirkez is on his way out already. There's no doubt about that. Kirkez is on his way out. But talking about left backs, don't know if everyone saw, but there has been a report from the African Foot, and I'll get the report up just in case people think I'm trolling or I'm chatting and you know these things. I'll share the screen. Don't worry. Show you guys Wagwan. But there has been a report that Tottenham are making moves. Tottenham are trying to do stuff in March to prepare for the summer. Maybe change. No, I'm not going to get too gassed. Look, this is a player that's out of contract in 2026, but it has been reported that this man here himself, Ryan NOURI, Tottenham have reportedly made a £30 million bid for him. Now, Wolves do value NOURI at around £50 million. Oh, showing you guys my DMs there. Oh, yeah. Not that there's anything mad in there, it's all work, but you don't need to be seeing what's going on. Maybe there's some plans, some videos you don't yet know about, you know what I mean? Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. You might be seeing Jords elsewhere. But yeah, the source is Africa Foot, so whether that's back foot and Nigeria foot, Ghana foot, I don't know where in Africa the foot is, but that is the source, isn't it? I just saw it and I thought, all right, do you know, I'm seeing this pick up a little bit of, it's picking up some waves. So I can only take from that we are looking and going out there trying to sign a left back. But with that, I think it's been very clear to see from the start of last season that Spurs needed a left back. We knew that. We knew that we needed someone to come in to compete with Udogie, but not just compete, but also potentially take his role, because this season the performance levels have not been at the required level. They've not been good enough. And there has been some questions regarding whether Udogie is the right guy to take us forward. I think he is. I think he just needs time, maybe a different system. I know I keep saying time for young players. I maintain consistency. I think young players need time. But I think the system maybe isn't working to suit him at this moment in time. And defensively, he just looked all over the place at the moment. Last season, it was a complete opposite. The complete opposite. We never had a problem with him defensively. And even going forward, I remember him locking up man like Saka, locked up Salah and these man like, there wasn't a problem. But this year, it's not looked the same. maybe we need another manager to come in and coach him on his defensive side of his game. But that's one thing that we're going to continue to have a problem if we sign NOURI. Now, NOURI is someone who I've followed his career closely. I've seen him throughout all of these Wolves team over the last 4 years, 5 years, since he's probably been there since 21, 22, I'd guess. This is just top of my head. I ain't even got the stats in front of me. But as a young player, he always thrived going forward, especially when he played left wing back, because under Nuno, he was playing left wing back when he was coming through. He was doing cold. Attacking work, beating his man, and even this season against Spurs, like he done really well, just getting past his man, creating an issue, and causing some problems. But defensively, he can be all over the place. His positioning is woeful. I remember that Chelsea game when they bagged 6 or something. NOURI was at least at fault for 3 of them. At least 3 of those goals he's at fault for. So again, he's a bit older than Udogie. Let me just check. Let me actually get up the NOURI breakdown, because I'm pretty sure, I'd guess he's around 25. Let's see, 23. So really young. He's really young, but he's very experienced for the age of 23. Because yes, his first season, not 21-22, 2020 to 2021 was his first season. And he's been steadily making good amount of appearances every year. Doesn't have too many injuries, has had a few injuries here and there, but still making 20 appearances or more every season. Obviously, he's an Algerian international, and this season so far is his most creative season with 3 goals and 5 assists, which you could say is a fairly good return for a left back. But just to go to the chat, because I'm seeing Wagwan, Mr. Jords, Wagwan, Donna. What are you saying? You keep asking me about call-in show. I've told you turn the post notifications on. I've had about 3 or 4 call-in shows now, and you've not been there, so that's your problem, Donna. Just like I said, turn post notifications on. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. And putting it in caps does not mean that I'm gonna see it even more. You should know by now. And furthermore, you should know by now, Donna. You've watched enough streams. I'm always like 10 minutes behind the chat. Get to know, bro. Come on, man. What are we doing here? But Jay, man, bro, how man's just chilling. Like, it's like that. He's always waiting to see someone get messed up, and he's like, you about to die? Say less. And he's there. Just when man's about to die, he appears, bro. Like, that's real aura farm. Like Piccolo levels, and you're just sitting on man, how can you be on the top of a mountain like 30 miles per hour, but we could see you? He's just got the cape flaring, bro. Just one of them ones. Just aura farming, bro. That's what you call them, man. Aura farmers, bro. Big facts. That's what Xavi will be for Spurs, though. Don't get it twisted. Them videos of when Gerrard was at Aston Villa and that, they were like, "Can you not sense the aura?" I don't blame them, innit? Like, Xavi's gonna be the same thing. Iniesta in the charity match did better than our midfielders. Big up to you, A1, F1. I'm just gonna say Alfie. I reckon you're Alfie with just a couple numbers in there, but big up to you, my bro. Big up to Luke. Yo, hey, I've been seeing Luke make appearances everywhere now. You see, Luke is going big time, I'm seeing Luke make appearances all over the gaff. He was on Spurs Danalist the other day. Shout out to Dan. He was on Spurs Kings, I see. Luke's getting around. Don't worry. You're going to see Luke on some of the bigger channels soon, man. 100%. We're going to help Luke get to the bigger channels. But make sure Spotlight on Spurs, you keep an eye out for Spotlight on Spurs. The subscribers should be going up because I keep sending you, man, over there. I keep telling you. So make sure you're really doing what you need to do and show some love to the boy. You know what I mean? Pause, but show some love. What we saying? AIRAOLA S-rank manager hiding as an E-rank. No, I don't know about this one, Jay, man. I feel like maybe he might be a leader of maybe I think he might be an A rank. Like he might be even an A rank's too much, man. Yeah, maybe an A rank hiding as an E rank right now. He's just trying to stat pad. That's what it is. He's trying to do the stat padding thing. Go down there. Yeah, they think you're rubbish. And then, definitely on one of those ones. Jay's tuned in, though. Big up to my guy, Jay. Durag Diaries, my guy, Hyper as well. Big up, broski, every damn time. Big up to you, Hyper, as well, man. And big up to my guy Z. Big up, bro. What do you think's more important, getting a new manager or getting getting better players or new players? If you mean better players, standard, innit? I think. Oh, actually, this is a good question because let me take it away from just Spurs right now. Let me think in general. I think a better manager, a good manager is more important than good players because you can have a team of thick players. Just need to look at Chelsea right now. Mosino knows, and you just need to look to see that you've got a talented squad, and even the last 2 or 3 years, talented squads. Just rubbish managers, or not rubbish, but managers that didn't know how to get the best out of them. If you have a manager that knows what each of his players' strengths are and just focus on getting the best out of those players, Antonio Conte, yeah, that's a manager who knows how to get the best out of his players. Of course, you can't get the best out of a player for 2-3 years because naturally you're not going to perform above your level for all that time. But for a sustained period of around 6 months to 12 months, you can release, trying to think of one of those references for Jay now. But you can get that out of them. You can make them perform above their level naturally because when you're with a new manager, you're trying to improve, you're trying to impress. You're in that what do they call that phase? My mind's gone hella blank today, fam. Regardless, you're in a phase of when everything's new, it's nice, it's fresh. So you're just trying to keep it all good. So you're trying to do the impressing thing. But when you get comfortable, just like even in a job, once you get comfortable and you start to learn, or you get away with this one, get away with that one, it's only natural, isn't it? You start to slack off a little bit. You start to get comfortable. And that's the thing. I feel like you can have new players and better players, but those players aren't necessarily going to fuck with the manager that much. Or after a while, they might start seeing what the other players have already experienced and be like, oh, this manager's not even that good, bro. This manager doesn't know what he's doing. And then that brings the morale of the team down, which is eventually just going to affect the whole team. And then no one's going to perform because if you have a few players on the pitch whose morale is down, it's only natural. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the rest of the team's going to drop in it. So you just got to take it from that. But Somba, NOURI can't defend. Why make bids when we don't even know what system will be in place next season? Great point, Somba. Obviously, I did touch on the fact that he's not a great defender as well, so I'm sure you heard that. But with regards to why make bids when we don't know what system will be in next place next season, is I think the aim of this is to try and get a player who's, for one, young, he's talented, he can be coached, may not be the best defensively, which it could go against us, innit? Because you don't necessarily want to have 2 left backs that can't defend, because you can't rotate for games and you can't really adjust. But at the same time, if you sign another left back again who's in similar age to Udogie, can compete with Udogie, and he can play left back or wing back, he's adjustable to the systems. You get what I mean? So you can start to bid, and ultimately, the job of signing players is to be done by the sporting director. It's to be done by, I was going to say the board, not the board, but the team above the manager. The manager, it is done in conjunction with the manager. But for the best clubs and the biggest of clubs, you leave that job for the sporting director. They handle all of that, and then they'll just get the go-ahead from certain managers. So with regards to this, I'm pretty sure that Tottenham, whether it's Johan Langer, will still be having to plan for next season, whether it's with Ange or not Ange. But whatever manager comes in is going to have to work with the players he's got. That's only natural with Tottenham. We just got to understand that, innit? But I just play Porro right wing, Spence right back, NOURI left back. I don't know about that. Porro's not that good to play on right wing. Like, I know people see Porro taking on his man, they see him putting in a good ball in the box and all of this, but Porro is not gonna be a high flying winger that you need. He's good because when he's doing his take-ons, when he's doing these 1v1s, he's usually got himself where there's a lot of open space in behind, so he's doing it in the overlap, or he'll get a player who's coming tight with his space, he beats his man, and then there's so much space in behind. When you're the winger, you usually beat your first man, and then the left centre back or the right centre back is going to come over. The left centre back in this case, sorry, will come over to cover. He don't have that problem because usually once he beats his man, he's already in a dangerous area where it's in that 18-yard box, right near the corner flag. So no, I don't think Porro should play right wing for Spurs at all. But I'm going to Footy Judge Mo. They have a new, yeah, bro, whatever. To your thing, bro. I'll be so real done. Like, what are we doing here? But big up Jords, my guy, Mr. Udang. What are you saying? What do you think about NOURI? What do you think about NOURI, bro? Because obviously, I know you're tapped in. I know you're preying all the transfer news and everything that's going on. Do you think this would be a good signing for us? Do you think left back? He's even a good left back. And do you think that he gives good competition to Udogie? Is he an upgrade? Is he a downgrade? Let me know your thoughts, especially you and Jun, my guy Jun as well. What's happening, Durag, man? What's happening to you, bro? Man, he's got Postacoglu hater in the name. I love to see it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this move for NOURI as well, man. NOURI is a wing back. He's literally Udogie but French. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. I get why you think that way. But you ain't laughing or oh, cocky no more. United above you bums. Oh. All right, Sam, man, you messed that one up. If you're gonna come and dunk on me, at least get those fingers mashing properly, because right there, you just done the you just smudged your finger across the screen and it didn't bang, bro. You almost got me, Sam. You almost trolled me successfully, but you flopped. You flopped. You almost got me. Mr. Udang coming in with the news. He's coming in with the news. Mikey Moore came on in the 72nd minute for Tottenham. For England under-19s and grabbed an assist as they won 2-0 away to Wales. I can't even lie. Xavi hashtag Xavi can't forget that. Why is Mikey Moore even starting on the bench for the under-19s? I remember watching Mikey Moore bad up the Euro under-19s, yeah? I know I say this all the time, but why is he on the bench for the under-19s? Has he been demoted? Is this Ange Postecoglou got man from England under-19s thinking they can bench Neymar, bruv? Are they mad? Mikey Moore shouldn't even play for England if they're going to be putting him on the bench. What's going on? Unless he's getting benched for Waneri or something, he should not be on the bench at all. Neymar needs to be given the opportunities to shine. We're talking about a real bad boy player here, you know. I ain't trying to hear none of that, no. Man said Mikey Moore come off the bench. What's going on? What is going on? Big up to Boris. Don't know if this is Boris Johnson, but big up to Boris. To be honest, we need to find a manager like Poch, can get the best out of his players and then also get the best out of the youth. Most definitely that. It's definitely that. I feel like we need someone who's a coach. We don't need Pochettino, and that's what I was going to get onto. I'm glad you did mention his name, Boris, because you just made me remember. The news has been circulating, the pictures have been circulating. I'm sure you've all seen it by now. But Pochettino and Levy were pictured having, I don't know whether it's a coffee or a lunch at a place called Limes in like Barnet, which is near Tottenham. For one, I don't want Pochettino back at my club. Don't get me wrong. Pochettino was my guy. I love Pochettino at the time. He was the one manager that really gave me the hope, really gave me the faith that we're going to come and do something in this Premier League, challenging for titles. He introduced man to Harry Kane, Dele Alli, made Moussa Dembele look cold, started making all these players perform out of their skin for years with a minimized squad as well. But I can't forgive him. I just can't forgive him. I could never forgive this man for going to Chelsea, bro. People will come out and defend the fact that Spurs never made a call. Spurs never inquired for him. Bro, there's obviously a reason why we didn't, because we didn't think that he was that good. But there's no way I can take a man back after he went Chelsea. Ask Chelsea fans if they'll take Mourinho back. Do you know, it's different. Mourinho actually won them things. But ask them about a manager who didn't win them stuff. Would they take them back? Yeah? Or just because you had a good time? Nah, bro. I'm not hearing it. We did sack him. But after he was sacked, it was a sacking, but it was a mutual sacking because he knew it wasn't going well at that point. Pochettino knew the club needed to move on. He'd done too much and not won anything. Yes, he didn't get his signings and stuff like that. But ultimately, there was that friction of when you just got a bit too comfortable. You need a new environment. That's what happened. That's where I think Arsenal are at right now. That's why I compare them a lot to the Pochettino Tottenham team, because I think Arteta is in a very similar position. Obviously, he won the FA Cup, so it gives him a little bit of a some heat off his back when it comes to trophies. But when you talk about a manager that's achieved enough, but again, when you talk about domestic competitions, didn't take them seriously, and then it comes back to bite them in the arse in the end because you didn't win a champs, you didn't win a prem. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So from when I saw this picture, for one, I just think, or two now, sorry, Pochettino, he lives in North London. For those that don't know, he literally lives in North London. So I don't think, and he's come out and said quite a few times, like, he's got a very good relationship with Daniel Levy. Them two can separate their business relationship from their personal relationship. So I don't think there's anything to take from this. I generally don't. I think Pochettino came back to the country because we all know that he's out in USA doing he's managing them, isn't it? He's a USA manager at this point. So he's obviously out there doing his work. And he's come home celebrating his birthday and stuff. And he's probably went to go see Daniel Levy. They've gone for a coffee. People have spotted them. And they're now trying to make the rumors that, Daniel's trying to get Pochettino back. He's trying to get the good vibes back. He's trying to bring the feelings back to Spurs. I'm sorry. I ain't here for it. I ain't. I'm a man of you move on. You don't go back to that. You move on, bro. Especially when they've been to your ops. There's no way. There's no way that can happen. We can't do it. We can't do it. It doesn't make no sense. So I'd be fuming. But I do get you, Jay Spurs. Not sure about NOURI long term in a back four side, but he's very good technically. No, you're damn right. He's definitely very good technically. Sam United 13th. What are we doing here? This is two retards fighting. Went from challenging to challenged. I ain't gonna laugh. I ain't wanna laugh. Yeah. Big up to Fams on TV for the rage. You know what I'm saying? Man, like catching the building. But no, we did sack him though. But that Chelsea move was nasty, bro. The Chelsea move was nasty. But NOURI would be an interesting signing for Spurs. But I don't think he would necessarily be an upgrade on Udogie. Udogie is stronger, better in duels, whereas NOURI is more of a traditional attacking fullback or wingback and more suited to Ange Postecoglou's aggressive, pressive style. But I am not sure if Ange stays here in the summer. If we bring him, I don't know how he fits in his system. I don't think that he fits within the Ange system. I don't think NOURI will be the right guy to do that. But I don't think Ange Postecoglou is going to be here for the long term. I don't think Ange Postecoglou will be at Spurs within 3 or 4 months. I generally think Ange gets sacked at the end of the season. I think what will happen is they'll do what they've done with Ten Hag when they were supposed to sack him, but you'll have an end of a season review. They'll probably go through and it's getting bare messages and stuff. My bad, people. My bad. I'm getting distracted all over the place. But I think there'll be an end of season review at the end of the season. Fucking hell, like get my words all down. That's what I mean. Distractions, they start getting you off course and start visiting. Like, let's get back to Ange Postecoglou will not be here because after the end of season review, they'll realize how bad his tenure at Tottenham has been, how bad this season has been. Tottenham are literally on course to finish with around. We're still on the road to 40 points. So I don't even want to say we're going to finish on around 45 points because we ain't even got 40 points. But with 9 games remaining, it's looking more than likely that we will finish on around 45. Maybe 3 more wins in the season, 2 draws, 4 losses. And with that, we're going to be on nearly 20 defeats. So if Spurs are on more defeats than West Ham, Everton, who are below us, and they've already sacked their managers this season, yeah? Wolves have sacked their manager this season. How can we be the only team in the bottom half to not sack their manager? Like, that's crazy. Of course, we're not talking about Ipswich and Southampton have. Leicester have. Ipswich is the only team, but understandably so, they never were going to. And then the teams above us, Crystal Palace and Brentford, they're in positions that they'd be happy with. But every team in and around us has sacked their manager. Every team. So how can Spurs not? How can Spurs not? But Marlon, I've got a few streams today. I'm gonna try and get it done for you. I'm gonna try and get it done for you, bro. Do you know what? It's just been mad busy week. Mad busy week. I've literally this is my first stream in days because it's been one of those ones, isn't it? I've not really been able to get around to things. But it's on the agenda. I'm gonna try. I got you. But if Ange tries to invert 8, no, it will go on loan. Hey, Jay, where you thinking of going on loan? Where should we? Because it can't be England unless we go to the Championship. Maybe we could man can maneuver to the Championship together because we can start to do some watch longs, man. Let's start to plan where we might have to make a loan move. Because if Ange is here next season, you might catch me on loan. Not gonna be doing no Spurs watch longs. I might take a visit to France. Maybe Spain. Maybe Italy. But yeah, I don't think he survives this season. You don't think he survives? I think he survives the season. He won't survive till next season. There's absolutely no way. Big up to my guy Aaron Lawrence, man. Big up to you, bro. But love your content and consistency. Do you know what? Big up. I ain't even been consistent this week, but I appreciate it. I'm trying, man. It's hard to stay consistent. But just answering your question on your title, I'd rather get IRAOLA for sure. Why would you rather IRAOLA? Just this again out of curiosity. If it's not Marco Silva or IRAOLA, is IRAOLA just your number one choice in general? Yeah, just interesting to know other people's thoughts on that because obviously I've made mine clear. I think IRAOLA is a good manager. Just want to see a little bit more of him. Maybe once Bournemouth lose a few players, I want to see how he deals with that adversity. But right now, I understand why a lot of people want IRAOLA. I was one of those guys at the start of the season, but I think as time has gone on, I've started to evaluate the situation for what it is a bit more. But I'll go Leeds. I think Leeds is going to be in the Premier League next season. So you can't really do that, Jun. Because if they start playing against us, who are you going to start supporting? Like, what, are you going to be Joe Roden? You're going to start supporting Joe Roden? Is that it? Just Joe Roden FC? And if they come up, I'm doing Wrexham or Plymouth with pie face. Fairs, you know what? Wrexham's a good shout. Plymouth, hey, we all know about the Plymouth. What does Deji call them? Plymouth, Plymouth City. Plymouth City. We can't be supporting them, man, over there, yeah? We've already got a Plymouth in the Premier League. But go on loan to Wrexham. Wrexham could be a good shout. But the thing is with Wrexham, yeah, I'm not gonna try to support. Obviously, they ain't got oil money, but they basically got the oil thing. Because their thing was way too kitted up. Like, how did they go from non-league into these leagues and they're badding up all these leagues? Like, it's a bit unfair. So going to be a Wrexham fan now, like, unless you're American and you started supporting them because of the documentary or something like that. But any English guys trying to rep Wrexham now that they got some money, you're just like the fake City fans. You guys just planting your seed earlier. That's all it is. You're just like half of these City and PSG fans. Like, can't try to do the Wrexham thing now. They know who the real ones are. But I would have rather have Estupinian, Luca Pellegrini. Estupinian's a good shout from Brighton. I do like him. I'm pretty sure he's injury prone though. I feel like with Estupinian, whenever I'm watching Brighton, it's like, oh, Estupinian's coming back from something. And not necessarily saying he misses bare games, but I'm pretty sure, like, maybe the last 2 seasons anyway. I might be wrong. He's had a few injuries, but he might not be mad injury prone. So if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong and strong in this one. This is just me going off the top of my head, but I do like Estupinian from what he played. Pretty sure he scored that banger against Tottenham as well. Luca Pellegrini, another good shout. Juan Miranda, I can't say I've watched him too much, but fairs. And Boya Garcia, yes, know about Garcia, then AIT NOURI, and the names I mentioned will all be under 30 million. Now, Mr. Udang, maybe Spurs need to sign you up to their scouting system. Maybe Spurs need to sign you up because there's a few good names in there. But good afternoon, lads. Good afternoon to you, Star Crow, as well. On Catch, don't act like you ain't ever done a loan season, bro. I know you've done a loan season. I know when Spurs are finishing above you all these years, you done a little loan season, bro. I know it. It's fine. You can admit it over here. On Durag Diaries, you can admit that. It's fine, bro. We're real people having real conversations. Yeah? A man says, I've never been through the worst. You definitely have as an Arsenal fan. You definitely have. Don't act like you didn't finish 8th and 8th, yeah? Don't act like that wasn't you. You definitely finished 8th and 8th 2 seasons in a row. So you've been through the trenches. You've been through the worst. Maybe not bottom half of the table. It's been a long time since those days. And trust me, this is the worst that Tottenham have been in my lifetime. I think we've only finished bottom half of the table twice in my lifetime. Every other year, Tottenham are always in Europe. No, I said I've been through the worst. Oh, I've been through the worst. Yeah, a man's been through the worst. That don't mean you can't go on a loan, though. I said it's a loan. It could be a short-term loan. It could be a 6-month loan, or it could be a full season loan. We don't know. It's just a loan. Yeah. Sometimes a loan deal gives you that revitalization to realize, you know what, at home it's better. At home it's better. Sometimes that loan will show you that it's not so great leaving home. So sometimes you need that loan. Yeah. Like Jay says, it's not cheating. It's just assessing your options. And you need that sometimes. Once you go assess your options, you realize home is better. Where home is where the heart is. Yeah. Yeah. But I think he's a better coach. I love the way Bournemouth play, the intensity, which is also balanced with a good defense. I feel like Fulham play in moments, but Bournemouth play with good intensity. He's even improved with injuries. He can still coach the team to play the same way with any player who comes in too. I do get what you mean, Aaron. I just question when you talk about the intensity, yeah, they play at a very high intensity, hence why they've had a lot of injuries, playing just 1 game a week. And us man have at least played 2 games a week. It's going off. It's going off over here. I'm gonna have to end the stream in like 5 minutes. It's all going off over here right now. No, to be fair, we're going to end at 3 anyway. But yes, no, I totally get your point though, Aaron. I think he's proven that he can work within his means, most definitely. But for me, do you know what it is? When I see a manager in the Premier League have 1 good season, I'm mad skeptical. So I want to see it again, but I wouldn't be mad if we got IRAOLA. I'd be like, yeah, good signing, good manager. I'm here for it. I'd get behind it. Pause. But I'd be up for it, 100%. But no, you're right. Sometimes loans don't always work out. And you're saying Tell, like that. I actually hate this narrative that's being passed around that Tell was supposed to be something that he wasn't. Like this loan was never going to be, change Tottenham. It was never gonna revitalize our season. This was never gonna be a loan that made us go from bottom half of the table to the top of the half of the table. He's 19. The expectation on Tell is crazy. Tell's played in his position, which is left wing. People keep saying he may want to be a striker, but he's not a striker at this moment in time in his career. Not a striker, needs time. He's a left winger, and he's only started there in the last game where I thought he actually had some decent moments in the game. Just let him play there more often. We're gonna have to see. I can't sit here and act like I can't sit here and act like that that I thought that he was going to come in and do a madness, or act like I want to sign him, because I don't want to sign him in the summer. I don't think it'll be a good use of funds. But Tell was never going to be a great loan move for Spurs. And I feel like with loan moves in January, we always get them wrong. Dan Juma, it was a horrible loan. Carlos Vinicius, was it Carlos Vinicius who got on loan? No, Jedson Fernandez, horrible loan. We always have these loans from young players. Like, trying to loan in someone who's unproven makes no sense to me. You should be trying to loan in class players who can actually add to the squad. Not a Matisse Tell. Matisse Tell never made sense. It never made sense to loan to me. It never made sense. Like, I was up for it to see what could happen, but it was never going to be a needle mover. But Jords, you're going to have to make a reaction vid soon. Can't elaborate, but have fun. Don't worry, I've seen your SNN. Like, I've been waiting to go watch them. I had to start my stream, Elijah. Trust me. I saw your SNNs. I've just been waiting. I was literally at 0 minutes. As soon as you had it released, I was there like an hour ago. Do you know what's even mad? I'm going to share my screen just to show just so you know, yeah, I've got you waiting, bro. I've got it waiting. Trust me. Yeah, look, entire screen. You'll see it. Look, you're gonna see the entire left screen. Yeah, look at that tab up there. Look at that tab. Look at that tab. Oh, the road to 2K is. Yeah, you see that. Look at that tab. Too much. The reaction's coming, bro. Yeah, the reaction's coming. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, I'm on to you. Yeah, I'm on to you. E. Don't worry. You can't catch me out. Can't catch me out. Well, big up to Elijah every single time. Do you know what? I should have actually showed the people then what we're actually going to react to. Let me just show so the people know. Released a new video. If you haven't already, go show some love, yeah? SNN, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Look, see, this is, I was on it when it had 4 minutes ago released. This, you know, I'm a real one. Can't style on me. So, yeah. We're going to have a video coming soon. I'm trying to work on that. This week's been a bit of a slow week, but we're going to have more videos next week, and we're going to be ramping it up a bit more going in or coming off the back of the international break. Obviously, it's a bit more of a quiet one at the moment. But another I would add to that list is Olivier Boscali from PSV, 24, can play as a both, plays both as a centre-back and left-back, so it makes up for the backup to Van de Ven as well. All right. Mr. Udang's been scouting. Say less. Say less. Okay. Again, can't say I've heard of this one. Can't say I've watched PSV like that. But say less. Say less. Starcrow, Tell was Levy trying to make the fans happy. The problem with the expectation is that you can't spend £50 million on a player that needs to develop. Well, Spurs can't anyway. Fact. Literally there. Spurs can't anyway. We most definitely can't. £50 million on a player that needs to develop makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, no. It's just not a player that we should sign. It's not. Do you know? And the thing is with this Kulu one, he was obligation to buy. Difference. It wasn't an option, it was obligation. Always knew that one was going to work out. Plus, he came from Juventus. He wasn't like he was like 21, but he had already had years at the top level where you could actually look at his progression. And he was important in that Juventus team until he wasn't. When he was playing under Allegri, and that's when he sort of got phased out. But he was important prior to then, and he was a much needed squad player. So you could see what you were going to get from him. Whereas Tell's never been an important player for Bayern Munich. He's been someone that's coming through the academy. Even still now is considered. You know, an academy product. He never really got that time. Yes, you're bad. I'm definitely on timing. Yeah, definitely. But morning, Mr. Inner Coma. Big up to you, my bro. I hope you're doing well. Let me know your thoughts on the NOURI bid. Should Spurs sign NOURI, Marco Silva, or IRAOLA? Who are you going for, Inner Coma? Let us know in the chat. But I swear our record transfer fee does not even touch 70 million. Too funny. Our record signing is it's between 3 players because I don't actually know, because the installments and the add-ons make it tricky. But I remember when we signed Ndombele, that was a 60. They said it was 68 million, but I don't know if it ever reached that amount because he barely played for Spurs. So the add-ons, it probably ended up being around a 55 to 60 million pound deal. Richarlison was a 60 million pound deal. But again, that's including add-ons, whether he's reached those add-ons or not. And then obviously Solanke is a 65 million pound deal. So we've got all 3 players in and around that price. And then you have a lot of players between 40 and 50 million. That's like the sweet spot for Spurs. If you look at James Maddison, Davinson Sanchez, Brennan Johnson, Mickey van der Ven, Christian Romero, 40 to 50 million seems to be the sweet spot for us. So when you look at players, Spurs will always, they'll try to sign a player in that 40 to 50 million pound mark because it's just cheaper, innit? You know what Spurs are doing. Like 40, 50 million pound now is 20 million 10 years ago. Like, let's have it right. It's 20 to 30 mil. And that's exactly what Spurs want. It was only 7 or 8 years ago that our record transfer fee was 30 million pounds. And that was Musa Sissoko. So record transfers for Spurs do never work out. Never work out. So Musa Sissoko was it, and then it went to Ndombele, then it went to Richarlison, and now it's Dominic Solanke. And Solanke is actually one that I rate. I actually rate Solanke. He's just not a 65 million pound player. That's the problem. But Xavi is right there. Levy got to open his coin purse. And that was the most surprising thing about when I saw him with Pochettino. Levy had his hand in the pocket like he was paying for the bill. There was no way Levy was going to pick up the bill with Pochettino. I know it. He made he still got Pochettino. He's like, yeah, remember that money that I paid you when I sacked you? Yeah, use that one. Cover the bill with that. 100%. There's no way that he was putting his hand in the pocket to pay for that. He's like, I used to pay you, and you want me to pay for our drinks? Nah, he weren't on it. He definitely weren't on it. So, nah. Daniel Levy needs to get his hand in his pocket, needs to try and make some moves, and he needs to make this deal happen for Xavi, because I would be over the moon. I'd be over, bro. Yeah, why for that? For one, because yeah, it does sound a bit mad, but I get what you mean. You know, just that picture, yeah, just him chat. It's gonna feed the generations. Xavi and Neymar, yeah, Xavi and Neymar. Way. I'm not even gonna start thinking about it because my mind's gonna go on Mars. I'm gonna start celebrating it like it's already happened. I can't. But bun up, 100%. You have to bun that one up. But yeah, man. Look, people, big up for everyone that has been tuned in and checked in to the check-in. Again, if you haven't already, let me know in the comment section. If you're checking in and you're watching it back on Playback, let me know in the comments who you would prefer, Marco Silva or IRAOLA. What do you think of the NOURI £30 million bid? Is it going to happen? Is it a good move? Big up to Dean. We was linked with this NOURI guy before the end of the season, before the season started. So I watched his game. Good going forward, but can't defend. You'll never walk alone. Yes, you're damn right about that. He's definitely good going forward, but he cannot defend. But make sure you've liked the video if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tap post notification bell to stay up to date with all the other videos coming out. And follow me on the socials, Durag Diaries or _for Jords. Big up to the people. We'll be back. Peace.